Moshe Tur-Paz is a member of the Israeli parliament from the Yesh Atid party, was head of the Jerusalem Education Administration, and has served as an operations directorate officer for the Gaza division in the Israeli Army Reserves. Member of Knesset Tur-Paz, I want to ask you about your experience in the Israeli Army. You were there. Why has Israel allowed the Palestinians to build the tunnel infrastructure to such an extent?
I think Israel is doing a great job fighting Hamas in the Gaza Strip. I mean, it's one of the most dangerous terror organizations in the world, and it's built a huge infrastructure in order to fight Israel, to defend itself, tens of thousands of missiles and underground tunnels. Why did Israel allow this? I don't think I have a good answer to give, because I think it was a scandal, and I think we should have dealt with it much better. I fought in the Gaza Strip a few times as a battalion commander, and at this war I was actually the COO, the Chief of Operations of the Gaza Strip. So I dealt for the first 3 months of the war with almost any issue you could think of the fighting. And I can tell you, I think professionally and spiritually, IDF is doing a great job. And yet we have to ask ourselves, and we will ask ourselves, how did we reach to this point? How did we let Hamas become such a huge and strong organization? And why didn't we fight it when it was much smaller and we could have defeated it with less price? And how did the 7th of October scandal, massacre, happen? I mean, we thought the IDF could stop any attack until the reserves will come. That's like the theme of how Israel works. The reserves come after 24 hours and they overtake the usual army that's there on the everyday basis. That didn't happen on the 7th of October, and we will have to learn that and to make conclusions.
You spoke to a group of parliamentarians from different parts of the world, and some were asking why Israel isn't expressing its case so that they can go back to their parliaments and be stronger on the Jewish state.
So I think the question is good. I'm not sure, again, I have a good answer. I think we must make a better case. I mean, there are no two sides on this issue. Israel was attacked on the 7th of October in a terrible massacre. Over 3,000 terrorists came into Israel, marched, raped, killed innocent people. And then Israel is fighting for the last 5 months for its life, for its existence. There are no two sides. There's one side, the goods and bad, very easy here.
What is the major problem in terms of the ultra-Orthodox community joining the armed forces? Many of them say they don't want to. Many are not educated to do so. Some have joined the army, but the number is small. How do you quickly prepare people mentally and physically to join the army and take part in its operations?
Well, the first and easiest answer is they have to want to. I mean, I built, before coming into politics, I built the platoons of ultra-Orthodox in the Givati unit and in the paratroopers. And over 1,000 ultra-Orthodox boys have served there for the last 10 years. So it can be done. The thing is, most of the ultra-Orthodox community, and mainly most of the leaders, don't want it. They live easier and they have a better time without risking their lives, them or their children. And that has to end. And this is the biggest and most important issue of Israel today. I think it will tear down the current government, because I don't think it's willing to do what it takes in order to bring in the ultra-Orthodox. And I can tell you, I knew it before the war. I mean, I was interviewed this last August and I said, IDF is too small and it needs more soldiers, especially fighters. And today it's a common knowledge. We know without the ultra-Orthodox boys, there won't be any army. That's a fact. So we have no chance but changing that division between ultra-Orthodox and the Zionist people of Israel. And we will have to integrate the ultra-Orthodox, help them stay at the culture and at the way they believe, but being fighters in the army, that's the only chance we have.
Looking now at a statement you made about the fact that many of the homes in Gaza were filled not just with tunnel shafts, but also anti-Israel propaganda and paraphernalia, how do you turn around a nation that has been indoctrinated for more than a decade, maybe two, and think you can actually change the perceptions of the youth and the elderly there so you can live side by side?
As an ex-professional soldier, there are two ways when you can define that you have won the war. The first one is if your enemy can't fight you, And the second one, if it doesn't want to fight you. At the moment, we're mainly reaching the first one, meaning we're making sure that Hamas can't fight us. We're taking its weapons, we're killing its terrorists, and or taking them, at our siege. So we are showing Hamas that it can't be a terror organization anymore. After that, we will have to come to terms with Palestinian authorities of some kind, in which we'll take over the Gaza Strip and will take charge of all civilian life, including education. And as I said, it takes a whole generation, 25 years at least, of teaching for peace, for people to change, to move from a fighting zone to a peace zone. And we will have to have those 25 years. Until we won't have them, we will have to make sure Hamas doesn't rise again. That's as simple as that.
There are likewise threats coming from across the northern border and from Yemen. So Israel is not done.
Look, I have 5 children, 2 of them soldiers, and I grew them up since they were babies on the notion that we seek peace but are ready for war. And that's the way you grow children in Israel. There's no other way. So we are looking ahead for many years of living on our sword, like in the Bible days. We will have to be people of peace that are ready for war at any moment. And we will have to either come to agreement or fight Hezbollah to move back from our border. And we will have to show them that there's a price to not moving back from our borders. And maybe it will take, I hope not, but it may take another war. And again, Israel is ready, if it doesn't have any other option, to fight Lebanon, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and to overtake whatever it needs to take off the missiles of Hezbollah that are now shooting at our civilians. Yesterday we had another civilian and 14 people injured at the border. They didn't do anything. One of them was a farmer just walking to his field. He was killed. There's no way Israel can let that kind of life of people in Israel go on. So we will have to either come into terms or to fight with Hezbollah.
Can Israel go it alone? The tunnel situation in Lebanon is far deeper, far graver, and more expansive. The number of weapons there is very large indeed.
We do need our allies, as we have shown. America and some of the main countries in Europe have stood at our side, both in Gaza, and saying that if we fight Lebanon, Hezbollah, they'll be with us. We will be happy to have them with us. But I'll say, if they won't, it will be harder, it will be tougher, but we'll overcome. That's Israel.
From Jerusalem, Felice Friedson reporting for the Media Line.